So it's something he notices in mid-action, and he takes the symbol, and then he just kind of kicks the cowboy out of the way, like, you live. And the main part about that is just that he knew he could have killed someone he considered in prior moments to be his main enemy, the person that's being bred as the leader of his enemies, someone he in real life would have to face, and he still made the decision to not kill him because he won and didn't need to. And the people watching in that orb are just kind of talking to each other, and then like the orb thing is like this, and they're just kind of like, and they look at him, and they're just like, good drop. And he's just like, back in your body. And he wakes up and gets back up, and all the other Indians are just like, oh, like, and they're drinking, they're enjoying themselves. They just didn't realize what they missed. And so they're all still preparing for war, and he's just trying to figure out if what happened, like, less doubt in his soul about it being real, but just kind of the medicine man is starting to be made fun of for giving him such a strong name. And not that his name was strong, but it would incorporate intelligence, strength, and understanding in it at the same time. So he basically got named the leader of the tribe, and everyone's just like, he's the weakest one. He passed out from your drink. We didn't. And so the one strong kid thinks he should be the leader, and so does the weaker kid's father. And they, preparing for war still. He's still trying to assert himself as the leader, but people don't want to listen because they're disagreeing with what's going on, because they have their own version of what should be going on. And he he starts to gain more understanding of what's going on by that he goes and talks to the medicine man, and the medicine man's like, you're gonna have to fill the role as it's my time. And he's just like, what? And they get raided while he's out meditating, and it's basically the rogue group of Indians and the rogue group of cowboys, because imagine you're gonna watch this in a mirror. Everything I'm saying about the Indians is happening with the cowboy. So the rogue group of Indians at the exact same time as the cowboys go and do a small raid, just trying to kill people to get stuff started, to provoke. And so he was gone. He didn't know. He was off trying to meditate about how am I gonna do this, how am I gonna find another medicine man, and he goes and he starts tripping, like, not that he's tripping, but he climbs to the top of this really tall mountain and kind of just gains the understanding that of a manipulation of matter, and just holds up a rock, and then the rock kind of just absorbs like water into his being. And he goes back to that place and starts fighting. And he doesn't, he's like, I'm just meditating. I don't know how I'm seeing all of this stuff or whatever. And so that's what the cowboy's doing. And as leaders, they meet each other there again. But this time he has that rock, and the cowboy has his version of his thing. And he goes over there and they switch. But when they come back, they're sitting in their meditated spots, and their objects have actually switched. And that rock could only be from that mountain. Like, it's distinct, and So when the cowboy looks up, he can see the Indian sitting on that mountain. And when the Indian wakes up, he looks and he sees the cowboy in his spot, which I would like to make the top of a tree on a different mountain, but just that he climbed that mountain and went to the top of this tree and like carved a little thing, and like the Indian kind of carved his rock, so like his little arrowhead and his little stick or whatever, you know what I mean? They're little symbols of I made it to this spot. And so they're trying to explain to their friends, we don't want to kill these people, we just want to help them see our side of the view. And they're like, no, they already attacked us. So the whole army is amassed, and they have to lead it because they are the leaders. And they go up, and the cowboy doesn't have the medicine man, obviously, but he has, like, I wouldn't say the bartender, but kind of like the leader guy, kind of makes everyone go do it. And he's like the town doctor or whatever, but he's still like a bartenderish leader, in that he's generous and always trying to make people happy. And so those are the people. So everyone's all mad. The greatest guy in our camp died. Kill them all. And they amass their armies, and they're all marching to this one valley that's like the Valley of Peace. And they're all going there for war, so they think. And they're all kind of sitting there waiting. They both have ambushes set up on each other. You can imagine the yin and yang symbol of destruction. And the leaders are just like overwhelming sense of power in truth. And they walk to the center with their generals, and they both walk up to each other and shake each other's hands. And then, well, not that they shake hands, but they walk up to each other and they bow. And the other people are like, what? And they turn away and they look at the generals and they go, this is the Valley of Peace, and today there will be no war. For we've already fought in many wars, as you can tell by our willingness to defend ourselves. This day there will be no death, for we all have a wife at home, and we all have a child or a brother or a sister, someone to take care of, whether they be old or young. You can't walk when you're young, and you can't walk when you're old, and you need to be taken care of. And you have someone of that childish spirit to take care of. We're all too busy for this petty fighting. And then they both look at each other, and they're both one side of the doorway, and in mirrored actions they open a trans-dimensional door to Great White Buffalo and walk through it in front of their armies. And then it just kind of gets written out of history.